Hats Podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats Podcast.
Top and good morning to you, my beautiful people. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. This your host with the most, Tony Mays, LaBelle Salt. What it do, my guy?
Two men in hats. What's up? Good morning.
Oh, we back on this, man. I kind of hate that move. I did it, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, some kind of sitting.
Yeah, it's gonna be back probably, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I got some shout outs, man.
Let's go.
Uh,
Show here too.
yeah, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. In 2016, man, this is kind of an old shout out, but they brought it back up, man. 2016, this is a guy from Memphis, Tennessee, man. Dwight Moore, a 15-year-old sophomore at Christian Brothers High School in Memphis, earned a perfect 36 on the ACT while maintaining a 5.0 GPA. Fewer than 1% of students achieved this score, making his steady rise from a 26 in middle school to perfection truly remarkable. Man, he did this at 15, bro.
Yeah, it's big.
And so I see they got a picture of him like now down there. So I don't know exactly what he does now in life. And I'm almost inclined to look him up just to see. But man, to have a perfect score on the ACT and have a 5.0 GPA,
Not a 4.0.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's
I mean,
crazy.
he had A's and everything.
Man, I'm talking about perfect A's, like, or A pluses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, you're never too old to go back to school, man. At 72 years old, Sam Kaplan finally earned his bachelor's degree in cinema and media arts more than 50 years after graduating high school. Check this out now. His 99-year-old mother was right by him and his space. He proves it's never too late to chase your dreams and make a lasting impact, man. Shout out to this dude, bro.
Wow.
I know I went back at a late age, but 72?
Yeah, bro.
72?
Yeah,
Man,
that's crazy.
I could just imagine the challenges just from a cognitive standpoint, just kind of maybe remembering stuff, doing stuff, and trying to, yeah, bro. Like, so that's tremendous.
Yeah, especially the field that he got the degree in.
Right.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
And then congratulations to Janina Simmons, who became the first Black woman to graduate from the Army's Ranger School, one of the toughest trainings with long days, little sleep, heavy gear, and constant challenges. Man. Look, I know this tough, bro. And check, she also faced stage 4 cancer in 2023, which had spread throughout her body, yet she persisted. On June 8, 2025, she became the first woman in the Army promoted to a sergeant major while wearing the Ranger tab.
yeah. Especially
Bro.
this kind of dude in office. Jesus.
Bro, that's tough, man. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like she doing it.
Big time.
She
Let
doing
me
it.
give a shout out to you, man, for even starting this segment. I don't know how you came up with it, but some of the stuff you be finding, sometimes I've been on Star, sometimes I don't, but some of the stuff you be finding, I'd be like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. But we it actually just pops up on my timeline. So
It comes up on mine too, but not all the time.
I can't even take no credit for it. I think because maybe I started seeing it, once you click on one or two of them, it just kind of follows you uh throughout. So I
Mhm.
guess probably one of those things that happened where it kind of just followed me and just kept, but it pops up all the time. So I just continue to download them, read them, because I think they highlight, you know,
All
and
the positive stuff.
right, and then they don't just highlight just one race of people or class of people, bro.
Yeah.
And so I like that about it too. So
Yeah, real talk.
yeah, so shout out to them, bro. Doing a tremendous job, man. Shout out to them. Things I need to apologize for, bro.
You got one starting right off this morning, don't you?
Yeah, man. So I got to I gotta apologize, bro. But to be honest, it really wasn't my fault.
Yes and no. Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't my fault. So I had a package, well, a couple of packages delivered to my house yesterday, and of course I could see deliveries on the camera. I could see who delivered them, and so the person that's watching the house had just left, and then they made the deliveries, right? And then they wasn't coming back till a little later, and so they came and made the deliveries. I saw the deliveries. I said, oh, soon when she come back in a couple of hours, she'll pick it up and take it on the house, right? Whatever. So before she got back, I see a car pull up. Where I really could, I just saw the lights. I couldn't see the actual vehicle. I saw the lights. Good morning, Miss Gwen. And the person walked up to the door, and it was a heavy set gentleman. I ain't call him that at first, but it was a heavy set gentleman. And he walked up and he bent down, but it sounded like he had a radio on. You know how like a dispatcher, you could hear like somebody talking in the background, like a dispatch or something. That's what it sounded like to me. So I said, oh, maybe they delivered, because I wasn't expecting one of those packages. So I was like, maybe they delivered a wrong package. You know what I'm saying? And then they had to come back and get it. So he reached down, picked the package up that I know I really wasn't expecting, right? But then I saw him picked up the package that I was expecting. And he checked the name on both of them. He kind of looked up at the camera a little bit and then walked off. And I said, he just took both packages? So of course I immediately went to the camera. I went and looked back and see if he was the actual delivery person. I said, well, he wasn't a delivery person to nail one of them. One was UPS, one was Amazon. And so I immediately contacted. Well, I made the video first. I made the video, made a screenshot of him, and I was getting ready to call the police thing and do like a little report and send them the video and all that. But I said, I don't know about this other package though. So I said, let me call Lil Tony, because sometimes he has stuff delivered. So I called, he ain't answer. I was like, okay. Call him again, he ain't answer. Okay, forget it. So I reached out to Amazon. I was like, hey, you guys delivered a package today, but then somebody came back and got the package. I said, I have the video. So I sent the lady the video. She's like, has this ever happened? I was like, no, this is the first time this ever happened. Right? And then she was like, no worries, we're going to take care of it, blah, 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 blah. Man, so she took care. I got off the phone. I'm like, and then so I called Treese to tell Treese. I said, man, when you left, somebody, they delivered some stuff, somebody came and got it. And then she said, I know Lil Tony had something delivered there, because he told me he had something delivered. And then he said he was going to have somebody, one of his homeboys, to come by there and get it. I I said, let me call, because by that time I had already posted the video and the picture of the dude on Facebook. I ain't recognize or realize who he was. I'd have called him a fat rat I'd have called him a fat rat bastard, man. And so I said, then looked on the fan car. I said, I called look on the pot. Because I said, if they at the shop, he'll tip. I said, man, look, y'all at the shop. He's like, no, we closed today, Pops. I said, all day is Monday. I said, I was trying to see, guys, man, I looked on it. Somebody came and took some stuff off the porch, man. I'm about to call the police on these folks. He said, man, that was my cousin Steve. You ain't recognize? I said, man, hell no. I said, man, I done talk bad about dude. Put him on social media, man. Folk inbox me. What's up, boy? We need to be looking for this joker. Man, I'm talking about, bro. I said, let me call the goons off, bro.
It was so funny. I was gonna call you and you beat me to the punch.
And I saw you had hit me with the man face, right? So I was like, let me call the man, let him know, man, that this. I had to take the post down real quick, but by that time, people had already seen they were calling me and inbox me. I was like, oh my god. Then I said, no, it's good. One to on the pilot, he tell me, not call him roasting him. I said, man, you got to tell me you sending somebody to the house. Tell me I ain't really thinking about that. I told Trees, I said, hell, Trees don't have access to my cameras at my house.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I done roasted the dude, called the dude a fat rat bastard, bro. I apologize, Steve. Adrian, if you're seeing this, I don't even know if Steven got Facebook on Facebook, man. But if Adrian, if you seeing this, man, tell Steven I apologize, man. I ain't mean to call him a fat. I meant to call him a fat rat bastard if he was stealing my packages, but since he was just doing what he was asked to do, man, I apologize.
You crazy.
Good morning, Zoe.
Zoe.
All right, let's jump on into part 2, bro.
I
need to apologize for. I did. I apologize. I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah,
and I acknowledge what it was, and I apologize for it. I took accountability, and I apologize for it.
You did. You do good. You do good.
Yeah. Which slide is this? This ain't the first one, is it?
Yeah, this is the first one.
All right, so I ain't gonna go back to all these slides, but apologizing for specific behaviors is basically a blueprint for growth and healing. Why accountability matters in 2026, and how intentional apologies rebuild trust. So we want to make sure that we are trying to rebuild trust when we make sincere apologies. And we went through this yesterday and talked about how sometimes our apologies are not really sincere because we just doing it because we think that's what they want to hear. And they're not received as though the same way you put them out with the same energy. So I think that, you have to have some sincerity when you're trying to apologize for people, because if not, you're going to run into issues where, the trust is failing, or, I never want to be that person, man, that, I'm walking around here just offending people just at will, and then not owning up or taking accountability for it, not apologize sincerely. And then now you got this tag on you that, hey, man, dude ain't to be trusted. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some people out here like that have that tag or wear that badge, and some of them wear it like a badge of honor.
Yep.
So it's essential to understand that, you have to apologize. Why do apologies even, matter more than ever? Because we live in a culture of defensiveness and blame shifting. Apologies are often avoided due to pride, fear, or misunderstandings. So a sincere apology is leadership skills and emotional maturity marker. Ms. Gwen said good practice moving forward is for people coming to announce themselves and the reason for they're on the camera before taking the package is a problem solved. Yeah, that too, Ms. Gwen. Because I felt like he should have hit the doorbell and said, hey, this Steven, man, just picking up these packages for Little Tony. And then it would have been on the thing that way. You know what I'm saying? Because we would have heard it and answered, okay, cool, Steven, cool.
Yeah.
Phyllis said, good morning. So with your story, you can't get caught up in misunderstanding with your apologies. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
because that was definitely a
I misunderstood.
misunderstanding because that the information wasn't sent to me, right?
Mhm.
That somebody was a outside source was coming by to pick up, the packages. So all I'm seeing on the camera is somebody taking my packages, and I
Mhm.
didn't recognize who it was because I didn't really look that hard at him in his face, like that. And so it truly was a misunderstanding, but I also acknowledge that I may have called him some things that I probably shouldn't have. So
Mhm.
I apologize. My apology really wasn't for uh, putting out there that he stole my stuff because I felt like that's what he did at the time. My apology was for calling him the names and all that because I didn't recognize who he was and calling him the names and stuff.
Right.
You know. So yeah, caught up in them. Yeah, yeah. But I still think that if you understand the nature of people and how people operate, even if it was a misunderstanding, it wasn't your fault, so to speak. I think sometimes apologies still matter.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because me apologizing to Steve and saying, "Hey, bro, man, I'm sorry. It was a misunderstanding. They didn't tell me." That could go a long way with him.
It can.
Because he said he could have probably came back and said, "You ain't really had to apologize, Pops." You know what I'm saying? I should have acknowledged, like Miss Gwen said, I should have acknowledged, hit the doorbell and told y'all what I was there for. But because that's what I would have did. I would have hit the
Mhm.
doorbell. Hey, I don't want to misunderstand this, but John Boy told me to come by here and pick up this package, and that's what I'm doing.
But that was, when we got on the phone last night, I said, "So you got something to apologize in the morning soon we get on the pod."
Absolutely, absolutely.
In a
So,
comical
so
way,
the
but
apologies
it was good though.
they matter even more today because of the culture and because of the way there's a defensiveness and blame shifting. You
Mhm.
know, so I put the blame on Lil Tony, right? I shifted and put the blame on him because truly he was to blame, but I still apologize because I may have said some stuff out of character that I probably shouldn't have said. I know I was in character. I ain't gonna say I was out of character. I was in character. I just shouldn't have.
It was
Just
a teachable moment, very teachable moment.
yeah, very, very on a bunch of different levels too.
Yeah,
Might
yeah.
I add.
I've done it before, so I get it.
And then what a real apology is not. It's not an excuse. It's not justification of behavior. Um, it's not a vague statement like "sorry" if you felt that way. And like I said, it wasn't a justification for me calling him that, but it was me apologizing for calling him that
Mhm.
because I shouldn't have. What a real apology is taking ownership without minimizing harm, naming the specific behavior, like I just did, acknowledging the impact that it had, not the intent.
Yep.
Yeah.
That may have all happened for a reason, huh?
Yeah. Why specificity changes everything.
You said that
Specific
word good. You
apologies
said that word.
validate, huh? What'd
You
you say?
said the word so good. I couldn't get it out yesterday.
Specific apologies validate the other person's experience. They demonstrate self awareness and they prevent harm.
Mhm.
Repeated harm. We talked about yesterday how some people just continue to, they just apologize for doing the same stuff over and over again. They just repeatedly apologize for the same thing over and over. No, you habitual.
Mhm.
And I think somebody even responded to it as being a liar.
Tangela.
You just a flat out liar. You just keep doing the same thing. You
Mhm.
don't really mean no good in what you're doing. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. Common behaviors that require apologies, interrupting or dismissing others, that emotional withdrawal, broken promises, harsh tone, or passive aggressive communication. Like Monica said yesterday, sometimes it ain't what you say, is how you say it.
Mhm.
And then, we talked about even the broken promises. Like one of the things that I'm gonna do if I promise somebody something, unless I'm ill, like really, really sick or on my deathbed or something, I'm gonna try to make good on my promises because promise to me, promises are attached to your name and attached to who you are as an individual. And when you start breaking promises to people that you made, then that says a lot about your character, about your name, about who you are. And so I'm not going to misrepresent my name, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we talked about the psychological impact of being apologized to. When people apologize to you and they're sincere in apologizing to you, it reduces the defensiveness. Then it restores that emotional safety, encourages forgiveness and empathy, right? So if I apologize to Lavelle and I'm very sincere in my apology to him, now, if Lavelle was emotionally or felt emotionally unsafe around me now because of maybe the violation, I violated some boundaries or whatever. Now I can help kind of restore that emotional safety, right? And then maybe he can forgive me, and even have a little empathy. I actually have a little empathy for the idea that the way he really felt bad about what he did to me, or she felt bad about what she did to me, right? Why people struggle to apologize? Um, I think when people don't apologize or don't want to apologize, the fear of vulnerability, yeah, you may be being a little vulnerable for doing it, but I think it's the ego and pride more so than maybe. I know you hopped a lot on yesterday about sometimes people just perceiving you apologizing as being weak, right? And that might be some instances, but I think most of it is just ego and pride. We just don't want to, our ego and pride won't let us apologize to people. And so because of that, we struggle to do so, right? I mentioned yesterday how we was watching the Maury show, and the young lady said, well, Maury asked the gentleman to apologize. He said, now apologize to her for doing it, telling her. And she said, I don't want the apology, Maury. If you got to tell him to apologize to me, I don't even want it. Right? And that comes from a place of, her understanding that if he apologized to me, it's not going to be sincere because you had to tell him to do it.
Right.
So I don't want it. But sometimes people just have maybe that unhealed trauma, or experiencing some trauma where they just never let things go, and then they just have so apologizing is just not part of their repertoire because of the past trauma that they've experienced and their unhealed trauma.
Well, I look at an apology in the same vein as thank you. It makes any sense because they're just that powerful, because it can harm or hurt on many levels. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's the same scenario. And then you used an analogy yesterday. I forget how you said it. You look at an apology like forgiveness.
Right.
Yeah, so that was good too.
Yeah. Ms. Gwen said, my daughter reminds me repeatedly to remember others may not respond the way I would in a situation. This can help prevent offenses and the need for apologies of our defensiveness, allowing space for a different perspective, help us grow. That's true too. But that's growth, Ms. Gwen. That's when you on another level, when you're growing to the point where you understand that people their intent may not have been to offend you. You know what I'm saying? That's just being big and growing and saying, hey, I ain't taking nothing back. Because some people, have you ever experienced a situation, Lavelle, where something may have came out offensive, but you kind of knew, and somebody else say, you weren't offended by that? And I'm cool with it. I ain't think they meant no ill intent by it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, but I think that's maturity and growth when you can recognize that maybe a person may not have been trying to come off that way, And then Craig said something yesterday. It's like knowing your personnel, knowing the people you engage with.
Right.
If I know, certain behaviors and certain acts, a certain way a person is, then I may not hold some things to heart. Phyllis said maybe it's just me, but I find it's harder for men to apologize.
I kind of agree with you.
I do and I don't, because this younger group of people, because when you think about women and you think about what they don't think they're wrong in a lot of situations, and they will not apologize, bro.
Mm-hmm.
With these younger women.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that maybe for older men, yes, but when you think about this younger generation and the whole, when we talk about culture, we talk about just the disposition of some of these younger people, man, it's different, bro. And you got these women, man, because I've seen, so when they say stuff and they be like, so you don't think you wrong? They be like, they be dead wrong, and they will not apologize for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I agree and I disagree. I think it's kind of twofold, and I think it's based on a age difference, a culture, so I think some other thing plays in there, Phyllis, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I
Ms.
just
Gwen
think
said
at one point in life, I think that was a very valid statement, though. It may not, it's probably not as strong as it used to be, but
right.
maybe 20 years ago, I would have to totally agree with her.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ms. Gwen said sometimes people need time to process and self-reflect their wrong. Yep. So they can approach with their apology the correct way. I said it yesterday. I said the gentleman was on a podcast and said that him and his wife never have any disagreement in all that, and they looked at him really crazy. Me too, to be honest with you. And I was like, y'all ain't never had no. He was like, nah, I won't argue. Like, if I'm wrong, my wife lets me be wrong till I go and have a moment of reflection and realize, oh, I was dead ass wrong. And then I go back and apologize for being dead wrong in that instance.
Mm-hmm.
But she allows me that space to realize that I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She don't carry the argument that's going back and forth because she know I'm wrong. She just, okay.
It's an easy way to do it.
I thought that was powerful as heck.
I remember me and Dawn first got married. I had told her, I said, Dawn, I think you're going the wrong way. And she was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, baby, I think you're going the wrong way. I just didn't say anything. I said, okay, all right. So she was going the wrong way. And probably about a day or so later, you know what? You was right. I apologize. I ain't trying to push the issue.
Sometimes you just have to let people have it, man. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it. Just don't apologize if you don't mean it, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I 100% agree with that. If you don't mean it, just don't apologize. Just go on, be the dickwad you want to be.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then we got to apologies in relationships. Apology in relationships strengthens emotional intimacy. We always talked about intimacy. Intimacy is not just having sexual relations. Intimacy is you having those moments of just togetherness and being one accordness and just being together, loving on each other. Feeling, and that's not necessarily means you guys are having sexual intercourse, but just being emotionally involved with each other, the intimacy part. So it creates space for honest communication, which we always talk about. I don't care what topic, we always going to come back to communication.
Mm-hmm.
And then it builds long-term trust. You want to be in a relationship where you guys trust each other. If you're in a relationship y'all don't trust each other, you probably ain't gonna be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably 100,000% sure of that. You ain't gonna be in a relationship long, if you don't know how to trust each other. I don't think we got to this one.
Yeah, this was the last one we was on.
So apologies in leadership and business. It improves team morale, it models accountability, and builds credibility and respect. I shared a story yesterday about an apology that was made to me by one of my coworkers, and when you think about it, it was like an apology to kind of build team morale, which the morale was. I'm not gonna say was low, was down, but I think it helped because sometimes as a leader we feel like we give so much and pour so much into the people well, I ain't gonna say all leaders. I'm just saying my leadership style. I will put it that way because everybody don't. So my leadership style is I believe in helping people achieve, pour more into them so they can be better, you know, and help them grow in whatever level they want to reach. You know, that's my goal. I remember when I first took the position, um, the latest position I had that's been in now for 5 years. When I took that position, um, I came in, I talked with everybody, spoke with everybody, I tried to learn their goals. I had this sheet that I would sit down with them monthly and we would talk about their personal goals, business goals, you know, uh, assignments and things that I had them doing and how they were growing. We would go over the stuff. So we were doing that once a month. And I um I was looking at, evaluating salaries as a part of it. So I looked at the salaries and I realized that everybody in my department was really pretty much below where they should have been with maybe with one person. And so when I individually met with them, I said, look, my goal is to get your salary up to par, but it's going to take me some time. I said, I need for you to work with me and give me some time to put this in play. Right. Mm-hmm. And they always like, okay, cool. We're going to trust you. And that's what I did. I worked at it. Because I'm one of the ones that does that, like the salary evaluations and all that for our division. So I made sure that other people across other departments outside of mine were up to par. I did them first. So when it was time for mine, there wasn't any questions. So I got everybody up to par across the board, and then I worked on and they were ecstatic. They was like, so I didn't give them a reason not to trust my credibility, not to, you know what I'm saying, or to not respect me in that instance, because I did what I said I was gonna do. That helped improve team morale more. It modeled accountability to them because I told them, hey, give me some time. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm gonna do, and I did what I said I was gonna do. And so when that person came and apologized to me, and it was we talked about it yesterday with Phyllis. Like, so people can apologize for somebody else. No, she was apologizing for herself as well, but she just included everybody else in the apology because she was like, "Hey, sometimes we take, what you do for us for granted and blah blah blah, and I just want to apologize, tell you that we're grateful, when I speak, and I think it, it was a place." It came from a place where she's a person that's kind of a leader in the office, and a lot of people run to her. You see what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure she had already identified and even had that conversation with them. Mm-hmm. So, and I guarantee you, if you walk in my office right now and we're sitting down and eating, and you ask either one of them, "Hey, y'all ready to go work for somebody else?" Every last one of them will tell you absolutely no. I have tried. I said, "Hey, this what I did," which would, I went in one day and I said, "Hey, I just wanted to tell y'all that the so-and-so division got some positions that there would be a promotion for you." They looked at me and said, "Nope."
No.
Nope. And so I feel like that said a lot about my leadership style and what I've done, because, I've created a culture and I guess a culture of building and growth and
safe space.
Yeah. So it's working out. Is all I'm saying. So Ms. Gwen said, just letting them be wrong and learning the lesson is necessary sometimes, especially when dealing with young children. Man, yes.
The thing about it
is, we don't like to do that. Especially if they're our own children, we want to try to tell them and help them and show them and encourage them to do the right thing. But sometimes, what mama them say, a hard head
make a soft
butt. And sometimes you have to let them fall so they can see and realize and go through themselves so they won't make those mistakes again.
Well, the thing about it is,
And it's a tough lesson.
right. The thing about it is, it's not that I'm trying to make you be wrong, because you're not necessarily wrong. The item and or the whatever we're dealing with, what is wrong? You went the wrong way. You're not necessarily wrong, and I ain't trying to be right about what you did. What I'm telling you is that that was just wrong, and I think that's what we get caught up in. We try to take it personal. It's not personal. Take your feelings off your sleeve, and we all been guilty of that as well.
And then too, like I wasn't there. I wasn't in the car. But what if you had maybe said it the wrong way?
True that.
You see what I'm saying? I wasn't there. And then maybe she offended that you trying to tell. And so she's like, I'm gonna keep going. And then she realized later, yeah, he was right, but maybe he just didn't say this. I just took offense to it. Because that happens.
That too.
Ms. Gwen said, we were taught to be a person of your word and say what you mean and mean what you say, especially in leadership. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
The anatomy of a healthy apology. I'm gonna let you take this one, bro.
Bro, like you said yesterday, it's like each one of these segments is a whole nother podcast.
Yep.
Not the anatomy of an apology, but the anatomy of an healthy apology. So that means that that's a whole nother thing within itself. So that means your apology needs to be healthy. It needs to have some vitality in it. It needs to be holistic and inviting. But like I said yesterday, it's amazing that you have to put all that into an apology when an apology should be accepted as it is, because it's number one, you did it, but like you said, you got to be unhealthy an apology. So acknowledgement of behavior. That's the first thing you got to do. What's the saying I said yesterday? Your apology needs to be just as loud as your disrespect.
Bang, what?
And I think that's the moral of the whole scenario, because a lot of times people don't reflect on what they did, how they did it, what they said, how they said it, and they just feel like, let me go ahead and, like Monica said yesterday, let me just go ahead and get this apology out. And that's you shouldn't rush to do that, even though
and it means nothing. It means nothing to the person you're apologizing to.
Right. Acknowledgement of impact. Like what I just said, the impact makes. I mean, it can go either way.
Right.
Expression of remorse, meaning that I'm remorsefully sorry. I mean, my apology is coming from a healthy place. It's coming from my heart. I ain't just saying something to say something. I truly apologize for what I did or what I said, and it's a healthy apology.
Yeah, and then like you just said, when you acknowledge the impact that it's had, so you actually kind of, and sometimes this may be harder than when you acknowledging what truly happened, what took place, and why you're remorseful for it. Then now, because you've acknowledged that impact of how this made that person feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've expressed the remorse. I'm truly sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not mean that. That was not my intent. And then you commit the change. I promise you, I will not make that mistake again to do that. I won't do that.
Yeah.
You commit to the actual change.
The commitment to change, and I think this right here, this could be a twofold thing, because, and I use it in when you have children, in building healthy children, because I think a lot of times we don't when somebody does something wrong and they do apologize, we go back and rebuild that trust and everything. You did good. You rebuild what they done. Say, hey, thank you for, I see your change, and you're doing better. Da da da. Kind of like how you in that leadership type role. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So.
And I took that down because I think this is a really good area to just kind of sit for a minute. Because you talked about the anatomy of a healthy apology.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just apology, as you alluded to, but it's a healthy apology. It's apology that makes sense. Um, it restores um, that emotional um, safety, um, that impact of however it made you feel. It I'm not gonna say it reverses it, but it tries to kind of reverse how you felt in that moment and give you some comfort in knowing that, hey, I acknowledge that this happened. It happened to you. It shouldn't have happened. It will never happen again. And
Mm-hmm.
when you start to really home in on not just giving an apology, but a healthy apology, I think it makes for a more compelling apology.
Yeah, and I think too, it brings up the validity and the power of what an apology is when you put that that adjective on it to describe the apology as healthy, because there is an unhealthy apology as well. So when you
Right,
strive to make sure that the apology is healthy, then that means you put
right,
some effort behind what you're doing.
right, right. I definitely think that um, that's the way to go, man. If you're gonna commit to an apology, be sincere. It needs to be
Mhm,
in healthy. It needs to be a healthy apology. Ms.
mhm,
Gwen said, "Great perspective, Avea. We can be defensive. Now we can be defensive when they don't take our advice. They can be defensive. Well, we can whatever when they don't take our advice or wisdom. Yeah.
mhm.
Um, what makes an apology powerful? Well,
It
we said it.
it's getting good and good.
Yeah, timing matters, man. Like when you said, I think yesterday, I think the apology needs to come right away, and I was like, no,
Yeah, you said
because
it. Yeah.
I'm like, no, because what if? Because I might be a person with loose words.
Hmm.
Well, I just say something, my mouth away. Then I'm like, I just messed it up even worse. So
Hmm.
you give yourself time to really think about what was said, what was done, what impact it had, how do you correct it, and choose the right words and the right, so it can, like you said, so it can be a healthy apology, right?
Hmm.
And then once you do, and then not only that, the timing matters, but the tone matters.
Hmm.
The tone in which you deliver, um, and the tone of the message itself, whatever you're trying to convey. You want to deliver it in the right manner. So
Hmm.
again, some people, I don't care how sincere you are, how healthy the apology is. Some people are just mean spirited and they just will not accept apologies. That's just who they are.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna hold myself accountable for that.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think that just comes from unhealthy trauma that they have not dealt with. Because I think the first person you need to apologize in a sense like that, you need to apologize to yourself and give yourself some grace.
right? Um, and then consistency after the apology. So after you actually made the apology,
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
yeah, you got to be consistent in your approach to that person and how you continue to try to work through and make sure that you stay true to what you've said to them. Ms. Gwen
Mm-hmm.
said the term a healthy apology makes me think of one that does not have a but attached to it. Apologize and then adding the reason we felt or did it. Yep.
I think somebody said that yesterday.
Yep. Yep. Um. We didn't alluded to this one.
Yeah.
When apologies, I just got through talking. When apologies are rejected, you are responsible for sincerity, not acceptance. I just said it.
Yeah, you've been saying it the whole time.
I just said it.
Hmm.
You are responsible for sincerity of the apology, right?
Hmm.
But you're not responsible for the acceptance. Some people just, I told you, mean spirited. They just want to accept apology, or sometimes it takes a little more healing. Like they said, healing timelines differ.
Hmm.
You may have bruised that person's emotional wherewithal to the point where it's going to take some time for them to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So give them some time and space,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then accountability still matters even without forgiveness.
Hmm.
Ms. Gwen said, example, I called you out your name, but you made me mad. Hey, I called dude out of his name yesterday and he was taking my packages. You know what I'm saying? But I still went back and apologized because it wasn't that he took my pack. That was a misunderstanding. It was because I called him out of his name and I shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm. And then too, I guess the apology is
that man is not a fat rat bastard.
the apology also is, and it's in anything I like in life, but mainly, what we're talking about. What you put in it is what you're gonna get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't
You put nothing in.
You don't get nothing out of it. And how you put it in, you know what I'm saying? Your intent and your motive behind it, your agenda.
Man, you do good. You do good. You do good. Apologies and personal growth. We have alluded to personal growth probably this entire morning, and just in how it takes some personal growth to navigate through some of these scenarios and to understand the gravity and how some of these different points that these bullet points that we put up, how one simple thing can make or break the apology.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think apologies, when you talk about apologies and personal growth, now it promotes emotional intelligence. Another whole different show, emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
that's a boy. When I tell you, that's a whole week right there. Emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
But it encourages reflection and it creates self-awareness. When you start to reflect on what truly happened in that moment, I think one time you was like, I just tried to sit back and see, like, what did I say or do to that person that may have set that person off to make them feel the way they feel. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There was even an instance where you said you called me and said, hey man, something set you off to had you reflected, if I done something, we good.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates that self-awareness where you start to be self-aware in how you treat people, how you talk to people, how you navigate around people. And I think that's where the personal growth comes in. Ms. Gwen said, I think explaining the reason in the apology without being defensive is more effective.
Absolutely.
The 2026 mindset shift, from defending actions to examining behavior, from being right to being relational. I love that. From ego-driven responses to growth-driven responses. Just what you just said, Miss Gwen. Just kind of explaining the reason for and not being defensive is more effective, and that's because you're going from being ego-driven, having ego-driven responses, to growth-driven responses. You're going from trying to be right to being relational. I want to be able to relate. I ain't trying to be right all the time.
Thank you, Holy Spirit.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be right all the time. Just be relational. Try to relate to some shit.
Mine is powerful.
What? Conversation starters. Why do people say sorry but never change? Is forgiveness required after an apology? Can too many apologies weaken authority? Yes.
Look, I just said it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when and I just mentioned talking about this, even though I give you apology, I would like you to forgive me and move on, but it may not be required. It's depending on that person. You know what I'm saying? So some people may require, forgiveness. But for me, again, once I feel like I've done my due diligence and did the right thing and sincerely apologized for whatever it is, then it's up to you to heal from that and so we can move forward in relationship or not.
Ooh, wee. I ain't never heard that one.
Well, that's good. You do good, Miss Gwen.
Miss
You do
Gwen, you
good.
be dropping salt.
Be a bridge builder, not an unapproachable island.
Ooh.
Hey, look, when a pilot get ready to land the plane, they say we're on approach.
Mm.
We're on approach to our destination. Flight attendants prepare for landing.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man.
And the final reflection, man.
You just said it.
Apologies are bridges, not defeats. Miss Gwen, you all up in this joint.
Yeah.
Growth requires humility. Healing begins with ownership.
Wow.
Growth requires humility, and healing begins with ownership, man. Man, let's clock that T with our girl Queen Watkins, man.
Wow. I'm flabbergasted.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl Queen Watkins. I hope y'all having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Y'all, AI is taking over. When I say taking over, it's really taking over. Let's talk about it. So Elon Musk had did this interview and stated that AI is going to start taking everybody's jobs. Well, a lot of digital jobs. If you work on a computer, things of that nature, coding, things like what people have went to school for now for years. AI is about to take over those jobs. So he's basically saying, be ready, be prepared. This is sickening. Okay. I honestly, truly don't feel like God is pleased with this. I could be wrong, but I don't feel like God is pleased with these folks creating robots like he created us to do these things, right? To do the work, to cook, to clean, and do whatever we do as humans. Now y'all got robots. Y'all got robots that make babies. What? Just take everything away from women. This statement that I'm going to say, don't take it wrong, because if you know me, you know me. But come on now. Men can be women now. Men trying to have babies now. Like, come on now. Like, make it make sense. AI has so much going on that is scary. It's so many. I even do the AI apps on Facebook. And when I say them things look just like me. It added a few extra features, but it looks just like me. Yeah, it's a thing called Chat GPT that I know so many people that use. One of my friends use it to ask what to eat for dinner when she don't know what to eat for dinner. Like, I got siblings that use Chat GPT. Yes, it helps with resume and all that. It's like to me, it's like a updated Google. And that's literally like updated Google. So it's nerve wracking, right? I work on a computer on a daily, okay? And it's sad to know that this could actually happen. You got AI, they trying to create AIs to do everything. Hell, they got AI wives that can cook, they can clean, and they can satisfy these men. Like, what? Make it make sense. What is really going on? What's really going on? We gotta lock in and pray, baby, because I don't know what they got going on. And Elon Musk got plenty of money to play around with, to try little stuff too. So yeah, we just gotta be mindful, keep our eyes open to what's going on nowadays. Cause just think about it. What if they do? What if everybody that works on computers really do lose their jobs? then what do they expect us to do? Them robots ain't gonna pay our bills. Them robots ain't gonna make a way for us. And if I'm not mistaken, he was saying like handwork, like if you're welding and things like that, those jobs, I guess, last a little longer. But y'all gonna create these AIs to do that too. So then what? Baby. At this point, we just gotta stay prayed up and wait on what's gonna happen next because you never know. All right, y'all, that's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Minute Hats, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
I can tell you with 100% um, AI ain't going nowhere. And
No.
if you don't learn it, if you don't try to learn it, you are going to be left behind. They're using AI to run businesses. They're using AI in robotics to replace manpower on jobs. They they already testing a plane that fly. Matter of fact, they already got one. They got a military plane. Uh, I wish I saved a video of this fighter jet that flies by itself, and it
Mm.
flies in support with like the F-30, whatever they call F-15s, F-30, whatever. They fly in conjunction with them to aid them in fighter jet situations.
Mm.
They You don't have to. It flies by itself. It does everything by itself. Now you can recall it, send it up, and recall it, but it makes decisions by itself. That's crazy. So how long would it be before they're flying um, commercial planes like that?
It's
Where
probably
they
really close.
pilots, So it's and they probably already been trying some of that stuff. But see, what they was thinking too, like with that, is that will these AI driven machines be able to make calculated, logical decisions? Because I think about Captain Phillips when he had to land that plane in the water to save all those people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, the Hudson, whatever it was, had to save all those people's lives. Will a machine be able to do that and calculate that?
I don't
You know
believe
what
so.
I'm saying? So I don't know, but I mean, these AI stuff is smart now. Don't get me wrong, but it's too many other. I think it's too many other calculated risks that you take, or that you leave on the table when you just allow AI to just do everything. So, but I do think it's like it ain't going nowhere. And everybody's using it to do everything. I'm using it. I use it. I have used it. I am using it, and I'm trying to learn more about it. Matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, I just downloaded an AI app called Metricool, where I make one post and it'll send it to TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, all of it at one time.
Yeah.
And so, and you can set it up like I could create a post for tomorrow or a week from now where it'll post automatically on that day.
Mm-hmm.
AI.
Yeah.
So,
And a lot of the stuff that has already been out there, what it is doing is kind of updating it and upgrading it. What these companies, had already, been trying to use those particular platforms and particular, tools or whatever, and AI only assisted and made it better.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm saying you guys got to learn it. So if you one of those people, I don't want to learn that, I'm scared of it. You better learn it. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be relevant. Ms. Gwen said the day of being in any career long term without professional growth is gone. We used to say get with the program or get left. The reality is AI is here to stay, and many humans will be left behind, but not all humans, because some who grew with it will still have jobs. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, look, thank y'all, man. Thank you, Lavelle, man, for bringing this particular. I think did you have something you want to share that from Queen?
Well, she didn't give me the go ahead to do it, so I'm not gonna do it till she, even if we don't address it. I just think what she did was powerful without going into any details, and it was heartfelt. So unless she say I can share it, I'm not going to. So
I got you.
Just a level of respect.
I think tomorrow we're gonna talk about the 20 rules of marriage. The 20 rules of marriage. Okay. And I think these are some very good ones. I've looked at this list of very good ones on here, and I mean it's not an exhaustive list, but I think these are some things that will definitely ground your marriage and keep your marriage going if you apply them correctly.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the 20 rules of marriage on tomorrow. Again, man, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Gwen. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in today, man, and sharing with us. This has been a spectacular. I'm broadcasting from Dallas, Texas, and we'll be broadcasting for the next couple of days from here. At least, what's the day? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'll probably be on the road broadcasting again because we're going to come back early. So at least another day from here, then another day on the road broadcasting coming back. So again, thank you guys for tuning in to us. We appreciate you guys wholeheartedly look, I want you guys to do this, man. If you guys don't mind, make sure you guys are sharing this podcast. We have the ability now to where we can create AI clips and stuff like that, shorter clips and stuff. But even if we share a shorter clip, man, it's gonna be up to you guys to share it, to get it out there. There's only so much we can do, but we need your help sharing some more until I figure out these AI tools and how we can get these AI tools to really work on our behalf. And that's something I'm working on and trying to figure out. Once I figure out how I could truly get it to automate, to send stuff out and get it to the masses. Because I really think when I look at our podcast and I look at a lot of other podcasts, I'm not selling our podcast short.
Oh, by no means.
Maybe when we first started back almost 2 years ago, it was a little shaky, but I think now what we're doing now, man, it's ranked just as high as some of these other podcasts. We're just not getting out there in front of people, the masses, like we should. And that's what is gonna require you guys to do so, to help us do it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is us having to create shorter clips of these segments so that you guys can spin the clips will make people want to come and subscribe to the channel. I do have right in the right corner up on the screen where you can actually click on that and go and subscribe to the channel. So I'm gonna start to add that more, so when people do see, and then they can just take their cell phone, if they're watching on the computer, and hit it and go and subscribe to our channel. We want to make sure that we're putting it out there where people can subscribe to the channel. So, but we need your help in sharing. If you guys don't mind, please share every time you come on. If you're referring people, go back and this church, when you share it, tag a lot of people into it. Don't just share it. Tag a lot of folk into it, so a lot of people can see what we're doing. All right. So thank you guys again, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, thank you so much, Lavelle, for this particular topic, man. I appreciate you wholeheartedly, brother.
Oh yeah, it bounced off what we started coming into 2026. Things that we're not gonna apologize for, and then I just thought it would be just healthy to talk about things we should be apologizing for. So it need to be a balance. So
right.
Miss Queen just responded, and it was so profound when she got up this morning. She texted me and Tony with the subject matter that we're dealing with, and she didn't have to do this, but it was so powerful. And I want to read it verbatimly. She said, "Happy New Year to you both. I just wanted to say I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all so much for accepting me and who I am and allowing me to broadcast on the podcast with y'all. I know I've been slipping with posting sorry or no excuses. I'm gonna do better, but I love y'all past the moon and will do anything for you guys. I'm locked in with y'all forever. Y'all can't rid of me, can't get rid of me. I'm very thankful to God that you all and your families made it to see 2026. This is going to be an outstanding year for the podcast, and I'm claiming it for you guys. And again, I love y'all so much. Happy New Year. And basically, what she was saying is that sometimes, uh, she don't have the tea or whatever, and we've all been guilty. Sometimes I get on late or whatever case may be, but I try to make sure that I communicate that, if I have something going on, as much as possible as I can. Sometimes it don't happen all the way, but just for her to step up to the plate and say what she said, it meant everything. You know what I'm saying? I know for
Yep.
my person, I'm sure Tony feels the same way. So
Absolutely.
we really do appreciate you. You bring a lot to the team, and I think moving forward, just off what you just said earlier, I think at some point we need to actually have um, a 2 minute hats team, so to speak, because a lot of these podcasts, you see the people who host the podcast, but it'd be a plethora of other individuals behind the scenes that's making stuff happen. And
Well, think about it. Um, we've had Marcus Young several times. We've had Miss Gwen several times. We've had C several times. So we do have a team of people who that's come on more than not. You know what I'm saying? So
but what I
yeah,
what I mean by team, I'm talking about actually making things work. Like Miss Gwen. Like I know we got Queen clocking the T, but
what
like
they but we really do, Lavelle. I guess I look at it different because Miss Gwen sent me, when I tell you, she sent me links to topics to
oh
stuff.
yeah,
She sent me stuff all the time. Phyllis sent me stuff
they
all
are
the time.
they already a
You got
positive
people
thing.
that
I get
send stuff
yeah,
that do stuff that make what we do relevant, bro. So
that's true.
the team is there. It might be like not an official team, but I do think we do have a great group of people who I think want to see us do good, desire to see us do good, and do their part in making sure we do. So I think that bodes well for both of us and our
And,
what we've
and
done.
every so often, bro, and it really makes me feel like everything we're doing is valid and for a purpose. I was out this weekend, and uh, I can't. It was a couple of people saying something, but they were like, "We really enjoy your podcast."
Yeah,
And it's the all time. I'm not, don't say anything, but I'm watching in the background, or either I go back and view it. I'll be like, you know what, appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
But
making
we
an
need
impact.
y'all to share. Even when y'all watching late in the evening or whenever y'all can watch on your lunch break, we need y'all to be sharing, man. We got to get out there to the masses, man. And then if y'all ever see something where they're voting on a podcast or something like that, man, y'all share our link and put us out there.
Yeah,
That's the only way we gonna get to where we need to be. Because God forbid, man, we land some kind of deal where through Apple or whoever, man, where we can get a deal. That's all. It's only gonna make opportunity for more people, man, to come along.
yeah, absolutely.
And for us to be able to do this at a higher level, even higher level.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
possible.
actually this year is one of the things too I'm working on too is for the 2 Men and Hash Foundation. I'm working on the 501c3 so that we can really start to do the work in our community some more too. So we
Mhm.
want to be able to take advantage of some of this grant money. It's companies out here throwing money, man. They have so much money every year that they're gonna write off or that they're gonna pass off for grants and stuff like that, man. We got to get a part, got to get the share, because that's the only way we can really truly help our community and do what we need to do in the community. We got kids, man, that need to go to certain schools that can't afford to go, can't afford to pay tuition. And I don't want a kid not going to school because they can't pay a tuition. And then if we're in a position to be able to do it, we want to be able to pay some tuitions for some kids and some other stuff. So we want to be able to do our part in the community, man, whatever it is, help our unhoused community. I got a big dream, man, of creating just buying a big plot of land, man, and building a whole bunch of like one bedroom kitchen, like a little kitchenette, bathroom, a whole bunch of them on it where homeless people can come, and even if it's just for one night, they can come in, they check, get the key to check out where they leave. We got a security gate. You can't, one way in, one way out. I got a whole dream for what they got. Free Wi-Fi. They're gonna have 3 meals served to them that day. The whole thing. We're gonna have a movie theater on campus where they can come in and watch movies. Man, I'm talking about. I got a whole thing I want to do for the unhoused, bro.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, bro, that's one thing I've always loved and respected about you, and I think that's another reason why we so connected. Our vision always be so big. And you even called me, before you said, man, I had a dream that you XYZ and da 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 da, and it don't necessarily come to fruition, so to speak, but it drives and pushes me, like to say, keep on dreaming, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. And thank you, Ms. Gwen, because I was thinking as Ms. Queen was talking about the AI thing. I think at some point we probably need to have a whole week, if possible, maybe 3 days at the least, to talk about this AI situation, because like you say, it's not going anywhere. And I've been watching John sharing a lot of stuff about the AI, so he'll be a good person to come on for us to have on the show doing this.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we can get John to come on and talk, man, and speak about some of these tools and stuff that we can. Especially we want people to be better. All right, bro. Pray us out.
All right, let us pray. Most gracious Eternal God, our Father, Lord God, we thank you for the opportunity and the knowledge and the wisdom that you are giving us. Thank you for allowing us to talk about this subject about apologizing and being sorry for some of the things that we do, and actually having a personal reflection and looking at ourselves and being better individuals and involved and being better moving forward in 2026. We actually continue to touch Tony family, my family, Queen family, and everybody that supports us. Continue to touch everything that they have before you. We actually continue to touch Tony and Monica as they're out of town, and give them a safe travel back. And Lord God, we actually do all these things in our Son Jesus' name, and we said, Amen.
Amen, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same bad time,
same bad place.
2 Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock, Dead, P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.